What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stream, man. So we're here. A lot of shit has popped off, bro. Like a lot of shit has popped off over the past 12 hours since I've been asleep, rather, actually. I mean, given that a lot of the news happens out there in Europe, the best thing about it is that I wake up in the morning and it's just a stream of news and talking points and all that. And it's crazy, dude. Like Enzo Fernandez's agent essentially looks like he's the driving force in why Enzo's going to end up leaving the club. It's not the player himself. It's looking like the relationship between Javier Pastore and Chelsea and Blueco have just completely broken down. And if this is truly the reason why the man is leaving, I'm not saying the guy needs to change agents because I don't think he needs to. I think it's just a huge warning sign to the club in general is that if you have bad relations with their agents, they're going to get their clients out of there. So if you like these streams, you like talking about football, you like talking about other stuff, man, drop a like, drop a sub, get your thoughts in this chat right here. I read everything that is being shown to me. You know, excuse me. I just ate breakfast right now. Just trying to clear that out, sadly. But you know, getting into the nitty-gritty of the speculation with Enzo Fernandez, is he staying? Is he leaving? We don't know that yet, right? Now, it's looking like a fee is being touted. Barca signing Anthony Gordon Bomba. Are you happy with that, bro? Like, I saw that also when I woke up. Are you happy that Anthony Gordon is going to be going to Chelsea? I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's actually a player that's underappreciated more than he should, honestly. But is it the right move for Anthony Gordon to go to Barcelona now? It just seems like their first two options of Julian Alvarez and Joao Pedro are just not happening. And I'll get to Joao Pedro after I talk about Enzo Fernandez. But Anthony Gordon, bro, what a random signing that is, honestly. Like, it's a real random signing, bro. I don't know how to really feel about that. But if we go ahead and we talk about this Enzo, bro, I mean, I just feel like this saga is going to be one of the most talked about sagas in the past 10 years. I don't know, but I might need drugs next season to cope. Man, we're already getting off to a great start this morning, guys. Already getting off to a great start. Barcelona fans might need drugs because Anthony Gordon is going to end up going to Barca, which is crazy, bro. I mean, I feel like Marcus Rashford fits their club a bit more than Anthony Gordon, but we'll see what happens there, right? So this is the first piece I'm going to show here. Chelsea prefer to keep Enzo. The club are open to a sell. Chelsea will demand 120 million, which would represent a club record sale. Right? Go over here to Nizar Kinsella. Chelsea will ask for 120 million for Enzo this summer. The Argentinian midfielder is not actively for sale, but remains part of the club's plans. However, he is exploring moves to other giant clubs, and a near Premier League record fee would be required. Right. And then this is the piece here that I want to talk about the most. Let me go ahead and go back over here real quick to see what else everyone is saying. So exclusive. Javier, I feel like that word exclusive, bro. And I watched Eunice's video yesterday, bro. That word exclusive is being thrown around too much, almost like the word aura. This word exclusive is just being thrown around too much. Javier Pastor's relationship with Chelsea has completely broken down, and is a real reason Enzo Fernandez is likely leaving. This goes beyond Fernandez himself. Pastor Fernandez's agents made public comments that embarrassed the club at board level. Blueco do not forgive that kind of thing quietly. And okay, the combination of a damaged relationship, the post-suspension trust issues, and Real Madrid's persistent interest has made the situation untenable. Sources say the sale is now a matter of when, not if. Right, and then we go here. Enzo Fernandez is valued more than 100 million, but Chelsea are not trying to sell the player. Real Madrid will sign a midfielder this summer, and Fernandez is one of their top targets. I wonder who their other targets are then. Then you go here. Enzo Fernandez wants to leave Chelsea. I mean, if we're going off of this, then it's more than likely that the agent himself is actively trying to get him out of there. I don't think the player himself necessarily wants to leave, but if his ambitions are Champions League football and winning, then yeah, I can see why he wants to leave, right? And then this part here, Man City fans, you might have to cool your jets here. Man City sources maintain that they are not looking to pursue a deal for Enzo despite having a close relationship with Enzo Maresca. So if we go ahead and go back to the full screen here, what a mess this is turning into. Now, the problem that I have with this really is not really with his agent. It's how much of this is Blue Co PR, right? How much of this is really the PR from Blue Co? Now, people have probably watched his videos and stuff like that. I've had my own opinions about this for like the longest time, really. That Blue Co is gonna paint Enzo in a light where, and I just turned on like my light here. They're gonna paint him in a light where he looks like he's the villain in all this, and they're gonna try to make him look as bad as possible in the public image. My problem with that is that I've never heard the brother say that he wants to leave. Now, if his agent is the one that is actively trying to get him out of there, then there must have been talks behind the scenes about what he wants to do next in his career, and that's fine. But for me myself, I want to see quotes from the player. If somebody can find me the quotes saying that I want to leave Chelsea, I want to go to Real Madrid. He said he wants to live in Madrid. He never said he wants to play for Real Madrid. A lot of the stuff that has happened post international break has made him look like an absolute villain. And Blue Coat say, "Well, look, bro, you know, we don't want to sell you, but if there's a fee of 120 million, we have no choice." But I feel like the player, if he's under contract, has a right to say, you know what, like I understand you guys want to sell me. You guys are in the shitter financially, but I don't want to leave. His only It's looking like the only team he wants to go to is Real Madrid. So is Real Madrid gonna cough up 120 million? That's the real question here. And I don't think they will, right? I don't think they will. I don't think there's a world where Real Madrid are going to say, look, we'll give you what you pay. We'll give you what you want. If Chelsea were in the Champions League and they were in Europe and they were competing for the Premier League year in, year out, and Real Madrid did come in, that's when I say, you know what? Fine. You guys want Enzo Fernandez? Give us 120 million. I'm sure Real Madrid would happily do it. They would happily do it. But with Chelsea not being in Europe, with Chelsea being as shit as they are, and with Chelsea basically essentially being in the shitter financially, they're going to try to get every single penny they can. And I don't think there's a world where Real Madrid are going to come in for 120 million. If they want Enzo, they're going to get them at their price. And the fee that's been touted, the fee that's been rumored, is that a deal of 80 million plus add-ons would get this deal done. But Chelsea aren't going to accept anything less than 120 million. So where is the fine line? Where is the middle ground in all this? I don't know if there is going to be a middle ground. You may have a disgruntled player in the squad next season that wants out, mainly because his agent is trying to get him a better move into a better situation. So I don't know if I'm crazy to say that, but it's just how I'm like viewing it, honestly. Um, do I realistically want Enzo to leave? No, I think he's too key of a player to this squad to where the only player that you can replace him with is Bruno Guimaraes at Newcastle. But even then, right? Even then, you're seeing Ben Jacobs and Alec Crook saying that like those links are wide of the mark. I don't believe that. I think there is some substance behind those links, and that you're not pulling out names out of thin air just to get people talking. I think there's some sort of links there. Something has to be happening behind the scenes, because if Enzo wants out, you need to get the maximum amount of money. Do I agree that he's worth 120 million? No. I think he's exactly what you paid for him 3.5 years ago. Asking for 120 million plus and even fees of 140 million, Chelsea are smoking some crack if they think they're going to get that kind of money for him. I think he's worth about 100 to 105 million, but you're gonna have to negotiate a fee to get to that price point. That's why I said a fee of 80 million plus add-ons, 20 to 25 million in add-ons would get the deal done. That's what I think is gonna honestly happen. I think he ends up at Madrid. I really, really do. I don't see a scenario where he's wearing Chelsea blue next season. If he does, I'll be happy as hell. I'll be ecstatic if he stays. But realistically, I don't think he's gonna end up staying, because I think the damage has been done, relationships have been severed, and especially with the agent, you have to keep good relations with the agent if you're the club. Honestly, you really, really do. Right, and then if I go here, like this is why he's not going to Man City. Right, this is exactly why he isn't going to Man City. Elliot Anderson is the main target for Manchester City. No talks took place for Enzo Fernandez, despite reports. He's not going to Man City. Man City are not going to pay that kind of money to get Enzo, especially I don't think the club is going to want to sell him to Man City and help out Enzo Maresca at all. If they do that, then it's like you guys are just admitting to your mistakes. But my honest opinion on this entire situation, bro, honestly, on this entire situation, I think that for one, like I've been saying, it's a missed opportunity to have this brother still here and actually build the squad around him. You don't have to, like, I've been saying this for like the longest time. There's 2 players that you do not sell in the summer, maybe 3: Palmer, Joao Pedro, and Enzo Fernandez, right? But there's other players in the squad that you can accumulate funds for to realistically go get the players that Xabi Alonso needs. I did a tier list yesterday where I have about 18 to 19 players that you can generate funds for without selling Enzo, Palmer, or Joao Pedro. The only reason why you're thinking of selling Enzo is because he wants to win, and this ownership hasn't shown they have the ambition to compete at the highest level. But I just wouldn't do it. Me personally, I wouldn't sell Enzo, even though he wants to leave. Supposedly, I wouldn't do it unless you get the money that you paid for him. I'm not doing it. That's just me, right? Now, if we're talking about a player that isn't gonna leave, and he and Deco flew all the way to London just to get told, no, he ain't for sale, bro. Right? Let's go ahead and pull that up. I need to pull up Instagram as well, because it's so funny, bro. It's just hilarious that this man keeps on trying, and the Barcelona pages are getting furious, bro. Furious at the fact that he's not gonna end up playing for Barcelona. Barcelona tried talking to Chelsea about Joao Pedro to understand if there is a way. The answer from Chelsea was not today, yesterday, or tomorrow. It's been clear from day 0. He's not leaving. So Barcelona fans, y'all need to pump the brakes. Gerard Romero, this brother here, bro. We as Chelsea fans remember this guy because of the Rafinha deal and the Jules Koundé deal, right? Joao Pedro is furious with Chelsea for not listening to Barca's offer for him. He feels that Chelsea have ruined his chance of going to the World Cup and now are ruining his dream move. The player is not ruling out going to total war with Chelsea. Yeah. Okay, bro. Yeah. All right, bro. If you say so. Let me go ahead and maximize that for you guys. Like, it's saltiness at its finest. This brother here, I mean, he's been one of those guys that Chelsea fans do not like at all because of just the amount of, and I actually follow him too, which is crazy. This is back from like 2022 and stuff. Like, it's wild that he's posting this, but if the sporting director at Barcelona, bro, is flying out there, and he's even saying this shit, bro. Tired of those things. If he's flying all the way out there, and he's essentially saying, being told no, stop trying. If I'm Barcelona, I'm focusing all my attention on Julian Alvarez, bro. I really, really am. Never understood the whole fetish with like Joao Pedro in the first place. I really, really don't. Then let me go ahead and open up this right here. Yeah, so like I said here. So again, Chelsea value Enzo at 120 million. Their preference is to keep him, but there is no breakthrough in contract talks because you gotta pay the player. He essentially what he's looking for is increased salary terms. That's it. He wants to leave and would welcome a Real Madrid bid. So this is the only club right now that are coming in for him, that should come in for him. He's basically saying, Florentino Perez, please come get me. Essentially. And this shit, I saw this yesterday and I almost threw my phone to the ground, bro. Does anybody believe this? TalkSport understands that a return to Man City is a possibility for Cole Palmer. However, like Joao Pedro, Chelsea have no plans to sell Palmer this summer. This summer. The key words here, this summer. I spoke on this yesterday in my tier list, honestly, that if Palmer doesn't get it going next season, there's a possibility that Chelsea will sell him. And I think the same with Joao Pedro, especially if they don't do well next season at all. But I don't think Chelsea will be as bad next season. With or without Enzo Fernandez, I don't think will be as bad. I don't believe that. The other team that we should watch out for in terms of Enzo is PSG. Now, I haven't seen too many reports on it realistically when it comes to PSG, but I would keep an eye out for them. This guy says I believe we'll get the best out of Garnacho. Oh my god. Chelsea fans are over here just having a giggle in the comment sections, aren't we? So apparently Xabi Alonso thinks we have the third best squad in the league. He's gonna learn real quick, bro. He is going to learn real quick about how far away we truly are from being the third best team, bro. Like, he really, really is. He really, really is, bro. But to go back to Joao Pedro, man, let me see if I can find the video of Deco leaving. I think it was on this dude's page. Damn, Joao Pedro spoke a lot, actually. I didn't even see this. There he is. Okay, let me go ahead and show this real quick. Now, I don't speak Spanish. I hope there's subtitles for this. No. Yeah, hotter where, bro. I see. This is what I'm saying. I don't understand why people are really falling for any of these Barcelona pages, like hype on this shit, man. I don't understand it. Let's see. Now, in this, he does say something about knowing Joao Pedro's like entourage very closely. I don't think that'll help you, bro. Honestly, I don't think that's gonna help you too much. This is him leaving the. This is him leaving.
¿Cómo ha ido el viaje?
Todo bien, todo bien.
¿Todo bien? ¿Ha habido reunión por Joao Pedro, por lo menos con su entorno?
A ver, estamos trabajando, ya sabéis todos. Al final nos vamos a necesitar traer algunos jugadores, pues estamos trabajando.
¿Joao Pedro interesa? ¿Es un jugador que te gusta, Deco?
De momento no podemos decir nada. Hay muchos jugadores que hablamos un poco su entorno para ver qué va a pasar, pero eso no...
¿Qué tal son las sensaciones por ahora?
También, todo bien.
¿Creéis que el Chelsea estaría dispuesto también a negociar?
No lo sé, la verdad que no hemos hablado de momento.
I'll be honest, he doesn't look like he's too happy. You flew all the way to London just to get told no. I mean, you have the money to do it, sure, but I mean, like, you flew all the way to London to be told no.
Con los clubes estamos trabajando un poco.
¿Y con su entorno?
Ya veremos, cuidado.
Pero cuidado, Julián también es una opción, Deco, simplemente...
Ya veremos.
No hay que cerrar puertas, ¿no?
Con el club todavía no habéis podido hablar, pero no sé si habéis podido hablar con el entorno de Joao Pedro. ¿A él le apetece, le gustaría la opción del Barça?
A ver, yo conozco bastante en torno de Joao Pedro, pero no es el tema ahora.
¿Y no hay que cerrar puertas a Julián tampoco, Deco?
A ver, no, estamos empezando.
Empezando, gracias.
Vale. Muchas gracias, Deco. Gracias.
Nada.
Vamos a empezar.
He don't seem too happy, man. Yeah, because you're trying to get a player that isn't for sale, bro. It doesn't matter what kind of pool like Barcelona has, bro. Like, if the player is not for sale, the club doesn't have to sell. Honestly. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with him. But I do think Joao Pedro is here to stay. Enzo Fernandez, on the other hand, you really can't make that argument. Even though I would love for him to like this to stay, honestly. There's so many breakings and like updates on this brother, bro. It's crazy. That's all over my Instagram timeline too. It's crazy. But I do want to touch on the United States, bro, and their scandal, the ridiculousness of this, bro. Let me go ahead and find the video of Mauricio Pochettino speaking on this. Yeah, it's right here. Now, as an American, right, this is something that, for me, if you're going to be able to, you need to be able to have clear communication with these players. I don't think doing this via email is the right way to do it. And the fact that he's defending this is nuts, bro. I don't agree with this. Before I play it, like, my whole thing is that that a player who was supposed to be in the squad isn't in the squad, and he finds out via email. He played the 7th most minutes under Mauricio Pochettino, and he's not going to the World Cup. Who am I speaking on? Diego Luna. Now, he had an opportunity to switch his nationality from the U.S. to Mexico, and now it seems like that was a mistake that he didn't do it, because I think he gets into that Mexican squad easily, right? But let me go ahead and play this clip from the former Chelsea boss and the current U.S. national team manager. And he does get a little frustrated, which, you know what, like, cool, but the way you did it was wrong, bro.
And that doesn't mean that we don't care about because we care a lot, we don't want to say nothing to confuse the player. Because if, like when I was sacked, no, in different clubs, no, one was in Tottenham, no, and Daniel, the president say, I want to talk with you. What do you want to talk about me? If you sack me, you talk before to sack me, no after. When you made the decision, I have nothing to say. I don't want to hear nothing. If I understand the player, they didn't make the roster, they don't want to hear me to say, oh, apologize, oh, what, I care. Do you know why I care? Because during 2 weeks I didn't sleep. And today, still I cannot enjoy the 26 guys that are in front of me because I am thinking in players that are out. That is about to care. It's not to call. Because if I call, it's about myself. I say, oh, I call, I am very human about calling and then giving explanation. Come on, that is bullshit.
I don't know about that, sir. Now, when he says that it's not about him, it's not about you, bro. It's about the players that you're selecting to the U.S. national team, bro. And these guys are grown men at the end of the day. They can take a face-to-face conversation. They would have much rather appreciated a phone call or a face-to-face conversation about your reasonings and why they're not selected at this World Cup, on this World Cup roster, rather than finding out via email. Right? What is this? Like, this isn't the early 2000s, bro. We're in 2026. You're able to get on FaceTime. If you have to get on FaceTime and tell these people, right? Like, I can go like this. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, so look, man, you know what? We're not going to sit here and have you in this squad because of this reason. I selected these players ahead of you for this reason. Now, there's going to be a negative reaction from the player, but they'll also somewhat understand. They would have respected it more than finding out via email, bro. You remember on like Raw back in like 2009, 2010 with the anonymous Raw GM? It's like I have an email from the anonymous Raw GM, and I quote, like, no one's trying to hear that, bro. We're in 2026. You're able to get on FaceTime. You're able to get on Zoom. You're able to get on all these apps or call them into your office and say, hey, man, you're not going to be chosen for this World Cup squad. I'm sorry. These are my reasons. Not via email. And do I agree with a lot of the players that are on this U.S. roster? I mean, sure. But it's like I said in my short yesterday, go ahead and check that out. It's like, I don't think the U.S. are going to do anything. You see Chad Ochocinco saying, oh, I like the way this squad looks, man. I'm going to go player by player. Said a lot of nonsense, honestly. A lot of nonsense. And then I see a page yesterday predicting the U.S. is going to win the World Cup. What are you sniffing, bro? The United States is not winning the World Cup. They're never going to win a World Cup. On the women's side, they will. But the men's side, no. There's no shot, bro. There's no shot that the United States is ever winning a World Cup, bro. Not with the way that it's set up. Not with the way that this country doesn't give a fuck about the sport. No, it's never going to happen. You can see all the youth teams, all the youth setups, all you want. But when you get to the senior level, that first team, that international level, there's no shot. The United States is not a top 20 team in the world. They're probably top 30. They're not going to break down any doors in this World Cup, bro. I don't care if they're hosting, and if for some reason they get to the quarterfinals or semifinals, right? I'm gonna have my reservations on it. It's like, how is this possible? Will I be happy? Absolutely, because I get to see the U.S. in the semifinal of the World Cup. But that's never gonna happen. It's never going to happen. Not with 48 teams. Not with a bunch of other teams that are just better than them, better managers, better players, more talent, more quality on the pitch, more determination to go get the job done. It's never going to happen, bro. Ever. At least not in my lifetime. If it does happen, then like praise the fucking Lord that they actually got deeper into a World Cup. But their best shot of doing that was in 2002. But then you can make the argument that the U.S. got robbed in that 2002 World Cup, honestly. But since then, they haven't done anything. They haven't done shit. They either go out in the round of 16 or they don't make it out of their group. That's usually how it goes for us, right? But my prediction is that they get out of the round of 32, which is going to happen to be out here in the Bay Area, and then they go to the round of 16, and then they get absolutely blitzed by whoever they play because they're not built to go deep into tournaments. I think they win the group. I think they host the first knockout round game out here in the Bay. And then after that, they're going home. A lot of those players are going to get ready for preseason, and a lot of those players are going to go back to their MLS clubs, their European clubs. That's what's going to happen. So I don't see it happening, man. I don't see it happening. I don't see a world where the United States gets anywhere in this World Cup. If they do, something must be going on behind the scenes. Donald Trump must have paid Infantino a shit ton of money to make sure the U.S. gets to a quarterfinals, which I just don't see happening. I just don't see us doing anything, man. I really, really don't. Let's see if I can find that. Nah, not that. Again, people watching on Twitter, people watching on YouTube, I appreciate it all, honestly. It means a lot. Let's go over here real quick. Just saw this pop up on my screen. So it's like I just said, right? Real Madrid are unwilling to meet Chelsea's price for Enzo Fernandez unless they make significant player sales. Chelsea will invest in established Premier League talent ready for Xabi Alonso. I mean, we'll see about that second part. But the first part, Real Madrid are unwilling to meet Chelsea's price for Enzo Fernandez, which is 120 million. Like I've said, if Real Madrid come in for a fee of 80 plus 20, I think it gets done because they're going to have to make a loss on the books in order to get Enzo out the team. But I don't realistically think that that's going to happen. I really don't. Vinny Jr. Spain are among the favorites at the World Cup. They won the Euros and they have Lamine Yamal. I think Spain's are co-favorites right now, actually. Enzo believes he should be at much higher wages due to his significance within the squad. His public flirting with Real Madrid did not go down well within Chelsea, given their interest in him. All he said was that he wants to live in Madrid. This is PR. The second part here is PR. He never said he wanted to play at Real Madrid. He said he wants to live in Madrid. There's a difference, I think. I know Marcus Rashford is punching air right now. I mean, I would be too if you're going after Anthony Gordon. I can imagine Real Madrid wanting to include a player in any deal for Enzo, considering we won 120 million. Being realistic, what player would you like or want from them? If I'm thinking of a player at Real Madrid right now, honestly, the only two players I have in mind are Tchouaméni and Valverde. Like, those are the only two players that I'm thinking of. Maybe Camavinga, but even then, like, that's tough. It'd be between Tchouaméni, Valverde, and when Rodrigo comes back healthy, that would be another player that I would be looking at. Honestly, you can put a Rodrigo on the left-hand side and have Esteval on the right-hand side. That would feed families. With Joao Pedro, stop it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if you're thinking of anybody, really, it's Tchouaméni, Valverde, and Rodrigo would be the three players that I'm asking about if you want to do a player swap plus cash for Enzo Fernandez. Honestly, because it's going to take a player swap and probably extra money to go in their direction, or Real Madrid in our direction, to get Enzo. Because I just think the reason why they're asking for that much money, 120, is because of the contract length. So, and Real Madrid will pay Enzo exactly what he's looking for. But it's like I said, if he's looking for just improved salary terms at Chelsea, it's like, why aren't you just paying the brother what he's asking for, essentially, right? Like, I would do it. I mean, I think right now he's on, like, what? Let me go ahead and check that out. What is he on right now? Right now, he is on 180 grand a week at Chelsea. So he's making 9.3 million a year. He's probably looking to make north of 220, maybe. If you're Chelsea and you're the one that is negotiating his contract, how much are you paying him realistically? Right? If he's on 180 grand a week and he's asking for improved, so if Wesley Fofana is getting paid 200 grand a week, why isn't Enzo getting paid more than him? It's stuff like that, right? Like, I can take a look at the highest wage earners at Chelsea right now, right? So right now, as it stands, the highest paid player right now is Reece James at 250. Wesley Fofana, 200 grand a week. You're telling me Enzo Fernandez isn't not near Reece James, but you're saying 220, 230 grand a week. You can't pay this brother that? But you're paying Wesley Fofana 200 grand a week? Like, come on, man. Like, this is probably why he's frustrated. He's seeing jokers like Wesley Fofana getting paid 200 grand. He's on 180. Marc Cucurella is on 175. Pedro Neto's at 160. Like, it's crazy, bro. I can see why he's pissed. I can see why he's honestly annoyed. Moises Caicedo's at 150. Cole Palmer's at 130. Joao Pedro's at 125, bro. Levi Colwell is what, 100 grand? Levi Colwell's at 100 grand a week, guys. Esteval's on 60 grand a week, which I can understand why. But you're looking at the top earners at this club, bro. The one that is just insane is Wesley Fofana, bro. Like, there's really no justification for this guy to be getting paid 200 grand a week when you've been injured more often than not. You pick up red cards more often than not. You don't contribute defensively whatsoever, and you don't take being on the field seriously. Enzo deserves more than West, bro. I can see why he's pissed. $200,000 a week, man. That's insane, dude. Wesley Fofana's on $200,000 a week, bro. I can't get that out of my head, dude. Arda Gujar. Let me go ahead and show that. Alex Goldberg, a guy that I've called a clown, which I still think he is, honestly, but this guy says, now I did say, who are you taking from Madrid? Chouamani is really the only guy on this list, and maybe Arda are the only two players on this list I would take right now. Nico Paz, I think I need to see a little bit more from him when he goes, if he stays at Como or he goes back to Real Madrid. I think he's going to break out there. Chelsea and Alonso have no interest in keeping unhappy players. As reported, Enzo did not accept the provisional wage offer. But what was the offer? Max, what was the offer, bro? Like, what are they offering him? That's my question. It's like, if you're paying Wesley Fofana $200,000 a week, bro, if you're paying him $200,000 a fucking week, what are you offering Enzo Fernandez? Realistically, like, what are you offering him? That's what I want to know. The Ornstein dagger, bro. Oh, man. It really looks like Anthony Gordon may be ending up in Barcelona, bro. What a coup for Newcastle if they're able to get him sold. But I wonder how much. Barcelona make proposal to sign Anthony Gordon from Newcastle United. Bid for 25-year-old winger, $80 million plus bonuses. $80 million for Anthony Gordon, bro. Oh my God. So it's like we said here, plan A and plan B fell through. This is their plan C. Marcus Rashford must be upset, bro. I don't blame him. I wouldn't blame it whatsoever. It says here, Atletico Madrid won $150 million for Julian Alvarez, bro. Can we talk about how inflated these transfer fees are now? It's insane. Noni Madueke throwing shade at Chelsea is hilarious. He was a liability. You know what? Let me say something about Noni Madueke, bro. And let me go full screen for this because I'm going to get off here soon because I need to get ready for work. But let me say something about Noni Madueke, bro. Give me a second, though. 1 second while I do something real quick. Okay. Let me say something about Mr. Mandem himself, the leader of Mandem FC. Noni. I'm going to grab my mic for this. Hold on. Whatever. Noni Madueke. I know you're not talking about Chelsea in this negative light. For a guy that severely underperformed when he was with us, to go out there and say what you've said, I needed to leave my past situation to go to a better situation. What did you do this season in order to help Arsenal win the Premier League? What did you do? Majority of the time, I saw you on the bench, warming up the seat for Saka. Majority of the time. Not only did you underperform at Chelsea, some would say you underperformed at Arsenal too. You're over here touting the Premier League trophy like you were a major factor in winning that. The players, the starting 11 for Arsenal is the reason why they won the Premier League. And Mikel Arteta is the reason why they won the Premier League. You had nothing to do with it. If you want to talk about one of the biggest front runners I've ever seen, and I consider Dallas Cowboy fans front runners, right? Their team are a bunch of front runners. Noni Madueke, for the amount of talent you have and for the unpredictability you do have on the pitch, you don't use it often. When you were at Chelsea, I liked watching you play, honestly, because I felt like you were our most unpredictable winger at the time. But when you sit here and you trash your former club because you won a trophy when you had nothing to do with it, I think it's pretty damn low, bro. Kai Havertz can say something, realistically, but you can't. There's nothing that you did this season that'll justify what you've said. So we'll see next season, brother, and we'll see in the World Cup if you can put your money where your mouth is. Because I guarantee one bad performance in the World Cup, Thomas Tuchel will not play you the rest of the tournament. You need to go out there next season with Arsenal and show us why that leaving Chelsea was really the right move for you. When in reality, we may have fleeced Arsenal for 50 million for his services. Realistically, Bukayo Saka is not going anywhere. You're not starting on that left-hand side, especially if they go sign in elite. If they go sign Morgan Rogers, you're not getting game time, brother. You're really, really not. So I don't understand where all these ill feelings towards Chelsea are even coming from. My thing with Noni is that for as good of a player that he actually is, you do a lot of this instead of having your play back up what you're saying. That's just how I feel about it. I don't really care. I think everything he's been doing has been a joke. I think everything that he's represented this season has been an embarrassment. Like, if we pull up his stats and I've seen Arsenal fans saying that he's better than Esteval. What are you guys smoking? Let's go ahead and take a look at Noni Madueke's stats for 25-26 in all competitions this season. He scored 3 goals. He has 3 goals and 1 assist in the Premier League, 3 goals in the Champions League, and 1 goal in domestic competitions, cup competitions, for a grand total of 7 goals and 2 assists. What did Esteval do this season with injuries? Across all competitions this season, Esteval Willian, 14 goals and 8 assists, 22 goal contributions, and 59 appearances. That's with injuries. I'm sorry, Noni. I think we upgraded, bro. I think we upgraded. So enjoy that Premier League title, bro. You're not going to win the Champions League, but enjoy that Prem title. We'll see if you can actually do half of what Esteval did this season in his first season in England, when you've had 3 or 4 seasons now in the Premier League and you haven't really broken down any doors yet. I think we upgraded. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I got to get ready for work. I appreciate everybody chiming in, tuning in, watching. I'll be live tomorrow at some point. I have to wake up a little bit earlier. I got some family coming over, and I have to get them all situated over here. But until then, I'm Jason. No Filter Chels. Drop a like, comment, sub, do all those cool things, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Up the Chels, keep the blue flag flying high. And one last thing before we get out of here is this message here.